I made a video recently about sharp practices that some businesses do in relation to your consumer rights. The particular video I did was about Zoom. I had subscribed to Zoom for a month and they ended up charging me for another month. And then when I asked them to reverse the charges, they said they don't do refunds. And then I said the refunds are not providing refunds is against Australian consumer law. They then gave me a refund. Anyway, at the end of that, I asked them to tell me if they were going to change the wording on their agreement to say that they do give refunds. I've since found out that their wording says that they don't give refunds unless required to by law. Anyway, so I asked them about that, and I haven't had a reply when I made the last email. I've since got a reply from them, and I'll just quickly jump to that reply to show you where it is. All right. Here's their reply to my email I said when I said I'd report them to the ACCC. I just make myself a bit smaller, so I read that there. So it says, and by the way, this came about about a week after I originally asked them about sending the information to the ACCC. So their reply is, "Dear Mr. Gregg, thank you for your reply. I appreciate your confirmation that the refund has been received," which is okay. "I apologise for the confusion about the wording in my previous message. You're absolutely right. Zoom subscriptions can be cancelled by users at any time through their account settings, and no discretionary approval is required for that. The one-time courtesy, in quotes, referred only to the refund itself, not the cancellation. I understand how it could have been misinterpreted." So I was saying that the one-time courtesy didn't apply to cancelling the item. Anyway, so they're also saying, "I also acknowledge your position regarding Australian consumer law. Zoom is committed to complying with all applicable consumer protection laws and appreciate your feedback that the refund reflects your right rather than a discretionary action." And then says, "Should you wish to share your concerns or feedback directly with our legal department, you're welcome to reach out to them at," and it's got an address for their legal department. I'm not going to reach out to the legal department because legally I've got my refund. I'm happy with that. The only situation is that Zoom, as I said in my last video, what they've actually done is in saying that people are not complying with Australian, they are not complying with Australian consumer law, and their initial statement in saying that they wouldn't give me a refund. I thought they used a bit of a sort of wishy-washy wording about that. So I've since gone back and checked the wording, and I've noticed that this is the wording here. It actually said initially here, it says, "While this subscription is now cancelled and you will not renew moving forward, the changes for the current billing period remain valid and is not eligible for a refund." So they were saying it's not eligible for a refund. In actual fact, it was eligible for a refund. So they're infringing my consumer rights. Anyway, I'll come back to that in a minute. I'm checking the ACCC website, which is Australian Consumer and Competition Commission. It says on their website here, right, that what consumers' rights and guarantees are, and there's 4 dot points. The last dot point is that it is unlawful for businesses to mislead consumers about their rights. So by the Zoom telling me, I don't know why that's happened. Damn, come into the wrong screen. By Zoom telling me that I was not entitled to a refund, they are being unlawful in misleading me about my consumer rights. So as a consequence, somewhere else on the ACCC website had a thing you can report businesses, so I reported them. So this is what I actually said. That was in one of their forms, but I copied right. This is a report to the ACCC. I reported to the ACCC. I took out a month subscription, report to the ACCC. It asked for the name of the organisation, etc. I said, I took out a month subscription and used it. At the end of the month, I was charged an additional month. I asked for the charge to be reversed. Zoom stated that did not give refunds. I said that was in contravention to Australian consumer law. They then did give me a refund. I'm reporting this because Zoom's default position is to not give refunds, which is against Australian consumer law. I understand that it is unlawful for businesses to mislead consumers about their consumer rights. Zoom appeared to be misleading consumers about their consumer rights. And also a little extra thing I said, I cannot see anywhere on the Zoom website where Zoom have the mandatory wording about consumer rights. Apparently, if you give any sort of a warranty or you do anything in relation to products or services, you have to tell people about their consumer rights, that they can't be overridden by agreements. And Zoom don't appear to be doing that. Now, I've reported that to ACCC. They've responded saying that I've reported it, and that's it. All I'm saying is that what you should do as a consumer is make sure you know your consumer rights, and then point out to the organisation, if they refuse to give you your consumer rights, that it is unlawful for businesses to mislead customers about their consumer rights. And by the way, when that's unlawful, there's you can't get any benefit out of it, but the ACCC will and have sued organisations in court and been successful and created fines of millions of dollars for people for businesses misleading consumers about their consumer rights. So know those rights and use them. That's all I'm saying. Any questions, once again, email me. If you want to leave comments at the end of the below this, please do so. Bye.